When great minds and talents compete, threads of victory, defeat, happiness, and sadness are sure to be woven into the tapestry of time, and every legend surely has a tale. But this is how it looks when a 7-time Ballon d'Or winner has the most coveted cup in sight only to fall short. Let me catch you up. Back in 2012, Messi had already broken the record for the highest Ballon d'Or awards in history, and with his focus on the last piece, the World Cup, Messi captained the Argentinian team, which lost only 2 games in the qualifiers. Every nation knew that Argentina was here for business. As the 2014 FIFA World Cup unfolded, his rivals fell one by one, leading Argentina to the finals and leaving Messi with a golden chance to follow in the footsteps of his childhood hero, Diego Maradona. However, fate was cruel, and it seemed like the football gods had other plans. During the final match against Germany, it seemed the little magician from Rosario didn't get the memo from the Germans. It was a win or lose affair, and what everyone thought to be a 90-minute match got extended into extra time. Just like the semis, fans all over the world thought this was the final etched into the stars to be settled on penalties. But this was untrue, as Mario Götze had a different thing to say about the matter. And just as we can see, with 7 minutes separating the extra time from the penalties, the German number 19 definitely knows how to make a late appearance with his volley shot that cost Messi his dreams. And despite falling short by the slimmest of margins, Messi wasn't done yet. And in 2022, he came back looking for the same triumph. All the supporters thought Argentina was in for a disaster after Messi and his team lost to the lowest-ranked team in their group in the first game. But this time, it was written and meant to be. At the heartbreak of young talents trying to make their history, Messi found his triumph. But I can say the same for his rival, Cristiano Ronaldo. Cristiano Ronaldo burst onto the international scene in 2003, making his international debut, and since then, he has led his country to cup triumphs like Euro 2016 and the UEFA Nations League. In September 2021, Ronaldo became an all-time leading scorer for international goals. But after winning almost all the trophies for his country, the World Cup seems to elude him, and he came prepared to end this narrative at the 2022 World Cup. With a total of 4 World Cup participations, Ronaldo had all the experience he needed to captain his side to victory. But this proved not to be enough against a Moroccan side in the quarter-final round, and this broke Cristiano Ronaldo. Ronaldo crying on live TV. Damn! But this heartbreak was nothing compared to the tragedy the world experienced in 2019.
Early 2019, the Argentinian footballer Emiliano Sala was looking forward to life as a Premier League footballer with Cardiff City before he was unexpectedly and tragically killed in a plane crash as he was travelling.
This is the last footage of Emiliano Sala seen alive at the airport, just hours before his plane crashed. On January 21st, 2019, Salah hopped on a plane to meet up with his new teammates at Cardiff City. But what really hurt Salah's fans is that his death could have been stopped. His pilot, David Inertson, sent a voice recording to his friends hours before takeoff in which he complained about how the plane was in bad shape. Aside from that, multiple reports flooded the news saying that the pilot's license was only good for daytime flights because he couldn't see colors. This was Emiliano Sala's last WhatsApp message to his friend.
Estoy acá arriba del avión que parece que se está por caer a pedazos. Y me estoy yendo para Cardiff, loco, que mañana sí, ya arrancamos.
And from what we could all hear, Salah confirmed the aircraft was falling apart. Reports reaching the media also confirmed that Salah suffered carbon monoxide poisoning before dying in the plane crash. Very sad, right? But what happened next was really heartwarming, as his former teams, Nantes and Cardiff City, held a touching service to remember him. Even players from every corner of the globe united to pay their tribute by donning black armbands and pausing for a moment of silence before each game. And the fans were not left out as they flocked to the stadium with banners, scarves, and flowers. And since we're talking about tributes, let's talk about how Barcelona honored their great Johan Cruyff. The Dutchman was a 3-time world's best player, and he led his country to the 1974 World Cup final. After he stopped playing, Cruyff became a coach and had a big impact on how football is played and how it is thought about. He believed in the total football philosophy, which Rinus Michels developed. In the late 1980s and early 1990s, his coaching career was at its best at FC Barcelona, where he introduced the famous Cruyffian style of play. And if you don't know what his style is, we can all see it in Pep Guardiola and his treble-winning Manchester City team. The Dutchman, who never lost any international match in which he scored, was also an angel at heart as he continued to give back to society through his foundation. But on the 24th of November 2016, disaster struck. A year before the disaster, fans learned about his fight with lung cancer. But no one knew it would be this early for a man who never seemed to lose a fight. His passing caused so much sadness among sports fans that they took to social media to express their grief. Lionel Messi and Vincent Kompany talked about how sad they were on social media, but this was nothing compared to how much Barcelona fans loved him when they made a painting of his name at Camp Nou out of more than 90,000 cards. Fans and Barcelona management haven't seemed to have forgotten about his death. They made a new line of clothing to honor him, and on the 5th anniversary of his death, Barcelona president Joan Laporta and his daughter Susila put 14 red roses and a bouquet of tulips at the feet of his statue outside Camp Nou. These flowers looked the same as the ones sent to Christian Eriksen while he was in hospital. Back on June 12, 2022, just 41 minutes into Denmark's first Euro 2020 game against Finland, their star player, Christian Eriksen, had a heart attack and fell on the field. He was literally dead for 5 minutes, and all Danish fans across the world swiftly switched from excitement to grief as their best midfielder fought for his life. But Captain Simon Kjær proved to be the real hero when he took Eriksen's tongue out to make sure he wouldn't choke as he tried to revive him before the medics came. When the doctors were doing everything they could bring Eriksen back to life, Kjær comforted Eriksen's wife, Sabrina. Within 15 minutes of the collapse, he was being carried out of the stadium on a stretcher and taken to the emergency room. The entire world was restless, waiting to get an update, until the hospital finally confirmed that the Danish number 10 was alive and well. He even posted a selfie on Instagram to show that he would keep fighting. Eriksen's determination to keep fighting brings to mind the painful moment when Adela Cech couldn't see her father play without a helmet. Back in October 2006, during a Premier League game between Reading and Chelsea, something happened that would have major effects on both players and have a long-lasting effect on English football. Reading, a new team in the Premier League, took on Chelsea, the current champs, in a match that looked like it would be a tough one. Just 15 seconds into the game, Reading midfielder Stephen Hunt ran into Chelsea goalie Petr Cech. Hunt was eager to make a difference, so he ran to catch a long pass that went over the Chelsea defense. Unfortunately, the crash was a disaster, and Cech broke his skull from the impact. This would have been the end of a great career, but the doctors at a hospital in Oxford stepped in putting metal plates on his head. This incident kept Chelsea's best custodian out for more than 3 months and eventually tanked Chelsea's chances of winning the Premier League. Petr Cech definitely pulling through brings to mind our soccer legend, who got the other end of the stick. Pelé, a player who made his country, Brazil, famous for the Ginga style, scored over 1,000 goals and won the World Cup 3 times while being the youngest to score in a final. He is an icon that will never be forgotten. 9 days after the 2022 World Cup started, Pelé got admitted to the hospital, and this definitely scared the Brazil fans. But while in hospital, Pelé was strengthened by his nation's performance, and everyone thought that was enough to pull him through. But his body couldn't keep up with his desire to keep fighting. With the whole world watching, Pelé closed his eyes for the last time in peace, just 11 days after his favorite competition ended. This left the football world and his home country of Brazil saddened. Pelé was laid to rest in the vault at the Memorial Necropole Ecumenica, just half a mile away from the stadium that made him famous. With the impact Pelé had on the world stage, people from all over Brazil came together in tears to say goodbye to the eternal king, who made a lasting impact on the beautiful game. But as sad as Pelé's disappearance was, it was good to know that he is back with his best friend Maradona in the sky. Diego Maradona was a true football legend. He had a lot of success around the world and once led Argentina to win the World Cup. And how could we forget the goal of the century, which Maradona himself called the hand of God? Diego played for famous European teams like Barcelona and Napoli during his long career, but none of them were as close to him as Boca Juniors, his home team. Even after he stopped playing, he still cared about Boca Juniors and never missed a game. In his honor, the club named a famous stand after him. But in 2020, Diego's health had reached a point of no return, and on November 25, he died of a heart attack at the age of 60. For the first time, his favorite place at the stadium was empty, showing that the great man wasn't there. The passing of Diego Maradona deeply saddened fans all over the world. But his daughter Toma's loss of her adored father was especially painful. When the Boca Juniors players chose to pay Diego a full tribute on the pitch, Toma couldn't stop crying. But hey, if you want more heartfelt football videos like this one, subscribe and let's spend some time together enjoying the sport that unites us.